Tonight, we're privileged to have a well-known international speaker from the United States, Father John Bullock. And he'll be speaking on the topic agnosticism, what most people don't know about it. Father John Bullock is a priest of missionary of Christ. He was ordained to the priesthood over 6 years ago in Rome at our ministry. He originally hails from Houston, Texas. However, he travels around to his part of the world on a regular basis to lead retreats, and he's particularly known for his talks on the subject of agnosticism. He writes on websites such as Catholic.net on a variety of different topics, and his philosophy and theology is part of his formational studies, also in Rome. Part of Father John's talk tonight will be based on excerpt from a film that appeared in Time magazine a few years ago, which you hopefully all have. If you don't, maybe just raise your hand, and I'll come around and give you. Not seeing is believing. So, in a minute to read that handout, it'll provide a bit of context for Father John's talk. In case you're wondering, he doesn't actually agree with the contents of the article.
Penny, thanks for the introduction. Whenever I'm introduced and it sounds too impressive, it usually makes me nervous. I guess I'm an international speaker because while I live in America and I've come to Australia, that's 2 countries, hence international speaker. Otherwise, no. I'm a uni chaplain in California. I come out to Australia a couple times a year. Our congregation would hope to eventually have a house in Australia. And in the meantime, we're coming out for short visits a couple times a year, retreats, talks, and things of this nature. So thank you for the introduction, Penny. You've set the mark high. And don't believe everything you hear on the internet. No. So, quick question. What did you think of the article? First impressions. First, did you think it was well written?
Yes.
He's very clever. He's a very good writer. I figure if you're going to discuss with someone who has a different viewpoint, and we've only got his article, he's not here, at least find a good spokesman for the other side. Otherwise, you're kind of building a straw figure. Does that make sense? And I was very impressed with his ability to write convincingly. And so that's why I have the article. This talk is basically going to have 2 parts, and then maybe we can have kind of a Q&A afterwards, if you like. Although as a general rule, when I give a talk, I prefer for it to be a conversation, for it to be a dialogue. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I hope you'd like to participate. We'll see. So those who didn't read the article, I should have read the article. There's going to be 2 parts of the talk before the Q&A, and that's going to be part 1 as well. Let's try to understand first what he's actually saying and what that means. And part 2, well, what would our response to that be? Because he's saying a lot of things in this article. And this, by the way, these are only excerpts. You might have seen the ... after some of the paragraphs. Okay, so these are only excerpts. But these are the pertinent arguments or themes, okay, within the article. The article is about 4 pages long, but with shortening the margins and reducing the font. This would be at least half of it, though, okay? And these are the most pertinent arguments. The rest he just kind of embellishes a little. And so part 1, let's just highlight and look at a little of what he says. Why is religion attractive? What do you think? What is he? Am I going to mess you up too much? Can I take this? Yeah. Why is this going to feed back with this one? Can you hear me better? Oh, yeah. Could you hear what I said so far? Okay, good. I feel better. Why is religion attractive? What does he say? This is in the very beginning. Okay, this is the point 1 that he makes. Religion's attractive. Why? What makes religion attractive? You have to pay your 10% to the church every week. Why is religion attractive?
Provide certainty.
Provide certainty. Listen to language. This is in the 3rd paragraph in the handout. Complete calm comes from complete certainty. In today's unnerving, globalized, sometimes terrifying world, such religious certainty is a balm more in demand than ever. Okay. Would you submit, I'm assuming most of you are practicing Catholics. Is that correct to assume? Yes. No? Okay. Does your faith give you a kind of a certainty in life? Yes or no? So we would agree that, okay, religion brings a certain degree of certainty. Okay? And he says, and I think he's right, at least in part, that, well, that's one of the main reasons it's attractive. It's a very uncertain world. You have the economic crisis, war, terrorism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we want something to hold on to, right? And I was just talking to, parents. They've been parents now for 8 weeks. And so, the novelty and the excitement and all that. And Mom says it was very soothing when you pray for your child. Because that love and that immense concern for the child and the hope, right? That it's going to be okay, but realizing you can only do so much, will you turn that over to God? That consolation of turning to God that we all have. Now, let's look a little later when he says, so now I can't find the quote. He's referring to Pope Benedict. I'm just going to read it here on my notes. For Benedict, if your conscience tells you something that differs from his teaching, it is a false conscience. Okay? A sign not of personal integrity, but of sin. And so he has silenced conscientious dissent within the church and insisted on absolutism. Okay? In matters like abortion, end-of-life decisions, priestly celibacy, role of women, homosexuality, etc. Okay? So he's saying religious certainty is good. But now he's starting to highlight the dangers of this religious certainty in his mind. And that danger is it makes you narrow-minded. If I am absolutely certain of my truth, then what is everybody who disagrees with me? Wrong. Right? I possess absolute truth. So if you disagree with me, well, you're wrong. And so he'll say that about the Muslims, extremists, and about Pope Benedict, pretty much in the same paragraph. Okay? You see? So as soon as you're saying, well, we have the truth, that means people who disagree with you, okay, don't. And so that's going to be a problem because you have a kind of a superiority complex. Now, I'm not saying I agree with him, okay? Please stay till the end of the talk. Okay? But let's understand what's being said and the consequences for us as practicing Catholics. Because this viewpoint, I visited Australia enough to know that it's very predominant in Australia. Okay, and it's very predominant in the United States. And if I think that I'm right in such fundamental matters of, what life's all about, where we're going, what's good, what's bad, okay, and someone else, Mr. Muslim and Mr. Catholic, okay, we disagree, what's the potential there? I'm sorry? Conflict. But not, listen to this quote again. This is in paragraph, it's about halfway through. It's just 2 lines. The Islamist resurgence portends the worst. Imagine, and listen, see, he highlights Christians. The fanaticism of 16th century Christians waging religious war and burning heretics at the stake. Now give them nukes. See the problem? So, now, if you as a practicing Catholic hold to the fact that each has the truth, okay, the fullness of the truth, right? Okay? That makes you narrow-minded. And that narrow-mindedness in their mind automatically makes you dangerous, potential terrorist. Okay? As a matter of fact, have you ever seen that? I saw one in Australia recently, because they're all over in California. It's bumper stickers. Californians love bumper stickers. I just realized I don't see too many bumper stickers here, unless it's like for Collingwood or something like that. I won't get involved. Delicate issue, okay? Although I like the name of the saints. But that's all I know.
You're already involved during black and white.
Dangerous issue.